So in this podcast episode, I want to talk to the majority of physicians that are out there, and that those are the physicians who are employees. A study in 2022 says a supermajority of doctors are employed, 74%, either through a hospital, a healthcare facility, some type where someone else is paying them to do work. And here at Bootstrap MD, we talk about being an entrepreneur, becoming an investor. So what is there for a physician employee to do? And I think what it comes down to is improving your own value. So today, I want to talk about 5 ways that you can finally get paid what you're worth. Strategies that you can take home to bring home a bigger paycheck on this episode of Bootstrap MD. Hey guys, Dr. Mike Wumeng. Welcome to another edition of Bootstrap MD. This is the podcast for physician and healthcare entrepreneurs. Today, I want to talk to the employed physician, of which, as I said at the top, a majority of you are. And I know a number of you want to start your own business, or you want to do investing, build in multiple streams of income, but you feel shackled by what I've referred to as the golden handcuffs, right? Where you're making a very nice salary, it's very difficult for you to even start thinking about, a business, maybe do some investing. But there are some ways that you can do it. Is how can you generate more income for yourself? And really, there's 3 basic ways, right? You can work more hours. You can go from a 40-hour to a 60-hour week. That's one way that you can generate more revenue for you and your family. You could see more patients. And I guess along with that is doing more procedures, doing more expensive procedures that can bring home the bacon. But I don't want to talk about those because obviously those are pretty superficial ways that you can do it. I'm trying to teach you to work smarter, not harder. I'm not telling you to get certified in more procedures. I'm not telling you to get a degree that you probably are not even going to use. So the third way is to actually get paid at a higher salary, ask for a raise. And it's that can be difficult for some doctors. There's stories that are out that physicians, we are paying too much money anyway. There was something, I believe, in the Wall Street Journal that came out recently and saying that majority of physicians are making over $500,000 a year. I'm not sure if that's accurate, but it is what it is. But it puts out to society that maybe we are overpaid. And because of that, we often feel that we are devalued. We don't like selling, marketing ourselves or selling ourselves. A lot of us may be uncomfortable asking for a raise, but I really want to talk about, because society deems what is your worth, and I'm not saying that's the only way to do it, but they determine your worth by your hourly rate, right? I got paid minimum wage when I used to work at McDonald's when I was 16 years old. And then as I got older, I got a higher hourly rate. I'm not saying that you should determine your value by money, but that's what society often dictates to us. So I want you to start thinking about what is your hourly rate right now? How much are you actually making an hour? And why that hourly rate is often associated with your value. Now, I'm a big sports fan. NFL is around the corner. Next month, we're going to start having games. I'm a big fan of the NBA as well. And if you know something about the NBA, there's a really tremendous NBA player who plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm going to butcher his name, but his name is Giannis Antetokounmpo. And he was the MVP a couple years ago. They won a championship a few years back. And he makes a lot of money, as most superstars do. There's another person on the Milwaukee Bucks who is also last name is Antetokounmpo, and it's his brother. And his brother is what they consider the 12th man. He's the one usually cheering from the bench, doesn't get into a lot of games unless it's like a blowout, what they call garbage time. And he gets a salary, but it's much more minuscule than the one of his brothers. Now, why is that? Well, obviously, he's doing it because he's a very much more talented player. Giannis is a much more talented player than his brother. He's been in all-star games. Like you said, he's the MVP. And why is he of value to the team? Well, he helps them win more games, unlike his brother, who doesn't play off that much. So there is obviously a direct correlation, right, to how much he gets paid and how much he has value to the team. Not only for just winning games, for sponsorships, for being an ambassador to the game, getting all of these endorsements, right? So he has had more value to his team. And that's the first way that you can improve your value, is just showing that you have improving your own worth, right? So once you improve your own worth, showing you that you are of value to your organization, thereby hopes that you're going to be paid more. So that's actually the first one that I want to talk about, is improving your own worth. Now, how do you improve your own worth? That gets to my second way that you can improve your salary, is becoming a better employee. Again, not a lot of this is rocket science, but I think there are some things that I'm going to be talking about that might sway you, or might spark some creativity in what you're currently doing. Becoming a better employee. So what does that mean? Maybe you're going to be coming in earlier than most of the other people. Maybe you're going to be staying later. And you probably say, I'm already doing that. I'm already working more hours. But it has to be noticed by the people who are actually paying your paychecks. Is it making a difference in your bottom line? So what can you do that can help get you more income? Well, you can by talking to people who make a higher salary than you're currently doing. What did they do to get them into that position? So talking with others, say, hey, what did you do? Have a frank talk, with these folks, and asking them, were there certain committees that you had to join? Who are the ones that are in charge of actually determining your salary? And then it comes time to actually having a frank talk with your employer. Ask them, your higher up is like, hey, you know what? I want to be of value to this company. What do I need to do to get there? That could require you to take on more challenges. Maybe require you to be involved in some committees, but not just any committee. And I'm not telling you just to be on any type of committee. I'm just telling you what you could be of more value in terms of what they're looking for. Is it about helping the organization generate more revenue? That's probably the most obvious way that you could do that. But you has to be noticed. Like I said, I was talking with someone recently. She was like, I'm joining all of these committees, but it doesn't seem to make a big difference in terms of the bottom line. Well, it determines like what type of committees that you are that are making a difference. Are you on committees that could determine, increased revenue for the practice or for the hospital? And that gets to my third way of having a change in your paycheck and increasing how much you're worth. And that is for you to learn new skills to benefit the company. So what does your company need right now? If you're going to the meetings, you have a pretty good idea of what it is. They're looking to improve efficiencies, right? So are there some classes or are there some courses that you can take that can help with that? One that I have in mind is I'm trying to learn everything about artificial intelligence, because I think that is going to make a tremendous impact in our business, and it already has. Is that something that you could learn to say, hey, I'm going to be taking this course about learning artificial intelligence and I'm bringing it back here to our company because I want to learn about improving efficiencies. I want to learn about how AI might improve quality of care. And again, that might be something you may or may not want to take on, but that does show you, hey, that you have other skills than just being a clinician. Maybe you're going to want to working on contracts. Maybe you want to learn and become the expertise at getting contracts with your vendors or with the big insurance companies. Again, to the eyes hopefully they see this, is that you are more than just seeing patients. And that's where I see, doctors becoming administrators, ended up having higher salaries because they are ready to take that on. I'm not saying you need to get an MBA. I know many doctors look at that as an advantage, but you don't really need an MBA to learn more about, taking a class at, Harvard online or Stanford Medicine offers courses on AI and medicine. Why can't you go ahead and do that? So that's one way. You're looking at different skills, anything but minimizing wasteful practices, efficiencies, revenue generation, participate in expanding your knowledge on services that can help you bring more revenue. Number 4, the fourth way that you can make a difference in your income and improving what you're worth is now not only learning new skills for your company, but to benefit yourself. I think every physician who wants to increase their salary should take a class or learn skills in negotiation. If you don't want to take classes, there are books out there. Chris Voss, Never Split the Difference. We're reading that in our mastermind group right now. This was a book written by a hostage negotiator who has learned the skills of negotiation, and he shares it with you. So for $15, you can start learning about negotiation skills for your own paycheck. That's to be important because you're learning all of these skills, how you're going to be being beneficial to your company. Another skill you may want to learn is mentoring skills. Maybe you're gonna take on mentors of someone new to the organization, take them under your wing, and helping them to become a better employee. Maybe you are taking skills in leadership. That's very important, right? If you want to show that you are of value, they want to show that you're a leader, that you can manage other people. That's going to be very important. But it's something that you can not only use for your own company, it's something that you could use for yourself as well. And then that leads me to my final way that how you can increase what you're worth, leading to potentially an increased salary, is leaving the company. And that's what happened with me. I mean, the last time I was actually employed in corporate medicine was nearly 20 years ago. But I remember being on a lot of different committees, taking up some leadership roles. I remember quality management committee where I had to talk with doctors who were having some personal issues. I was an urgent care director. I was a nursing home director. Not really seeing a big change in my salary. And they say, the definition of insanity is doing this different things and expecting, or doing the same things and expecting a different result. And that's what happened to me. I definitely hit a ceiling of what I could do. I think because many of my colleagues were a lot older than I was, maybe that played a role into it. I thought my quality of taking care of patients was pretty good. But who knows what it is. And then, so if you feel like you've done like those top 4 things that I mentioned, and you're not getting anywhere, you're hitting that ceiling as well, maybe it is time to think about different pastures. And, especially since COVID, there are a lot more different opportunities that you can practice medicine. You can go part-time, you can do locum tenens, you can do telemedicine, you can do different type of practices that don't involve hospital work, or if you're in the hospital, maybe you want to do more outpatient. If you're outpatient, maybe you want to do more inpatient. There's so many things that you could do. You can work multiple part-time jobs if you want. I've seen that work as well. We talk about the golden handcuffs, that doctors have. And, I think probably one of the worst things that I see is when doctors, they get paid just enough so that just enough money and having just enough benefits and just some things that they add so you won't leave. And I think a lot of corporations are really, really good at doing that. But, the way that I, was trained to be in medicine, I thought it was like, and I'm probably dating myself, back when I was a kid, there was a show called The Marcus Welby where there was this family doctor, and he would go to in the community, and he'd get paid. Somebody gave him like a fruit basket and things like that. When I thought I was working at some place, I thought I was going to be there for the next 30 years, just didn't turn out to be that way. And now there's so many ways that you can practice medicine, gives you a lot more different opportunities, that it is something to think about where, if you are feeling that nothing is really getting accomplished. So to sum up, those are kind of my 5 strategies that you can think of to hopefully get a pay raise and finally get paid what you're worth. So one is just understanding what your worth is. 2 is becoming a better employee. 3 is just learning new skills to benefit the company. 4 is learning new skills to benefit yourself. And then 5 is, if all else fails, leaving the company. So I hope you got some benefit from that. Not a subject, I know doctors and money is not something we like to share, but I think because a number of you are employees, you feel that there's no really way to go. I think it first starts off by making more money per hour, and then hopefully you could actually reduce the number of hours you work. Then you can explore different avenues on investing, starting a business, learning to buy revenue generating assets that help you make more money for you and your family and keep moving you forward.